Somebody said Californians let Mexican rappers say nigga. And New Yorkers let Puerto Ricans rappers say nigga. What the fuck is your point? And people in Atlanta let Drake come down and be down with the culture in Atlanta and Houston. The fuck is your point, Black Attack? Again, they're back to these old regional niggas. You regional niggas, and I don't want to say this, and let the hit dogs holler. But you niggas that keep taking things back to region, you're very small minded. Okay, and the reason why I'm calling you small minded because I just spent the last hour explaining why we have to talk about the full relationship. And in spite of me going into great detail, going back to the 1790s and talking about the music of the North and how we all play a part in growing it, we also all play a part in collapsing it. You niggas that may take it back to a region, my conclusion moving forward is just going to be you stupid. You don't have the mental enzymes to break down a large concept. So you got to limit the concept to a region so your little mind can catch up to it. Stop being stupid in my chat room. Come on, Rocky. Come on, Rocky. Rocky just knocked on the door. Let's stop that. But yeah, we're going to have to, as black people, one thing we got to understand is just black Americans. Taking music has always been there, but we weren't the ones that did it. It was the white artists sampling the black artists, the European sampling the black American, the Caribbean through reggae sampling the black American. Taking what we do and redoing it, making derivative music was always the standard for everyone else. It was never the standard for us. And the reason why we always continue to innovate, if you go back in black American music, every 3 years it sounds different. And enroll in my history of R&B course, we're talking about this right now. Every 3 years it sounds different. Music from 1971 don't sound like music from 1976. 1964 don't sound like 1968. You dig what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. The early days of funk, song of the Big Payback. That was a few years after his first funk song. Well, that's not the same time. Papa's got that's his first funk song, and then it evolved and it got more into what I played before. Then it evolved into this, and then a few more years later, funk sounded like this. It became a much larger sound through Parliament. I want the album, not the song. Yeah. Well, all right. Gotcha. In that small 10-year period, it went from a thin sound to a thicker sound to a thicker sound. It kept evolving, not sounding like it did 3 years ago. Same thing with R&B. Early R&B, Miguel Nunez's mom wrote this song. This is, well, not this one. You see, man made the car. That's early 60s R&B. Late 60s R&B sounds more like, when you get to the late 60s, R&B sounds more like this. Hear how grand that is? It's a way thicker sound. What if they was relying on samples? What if in the 60s, everything was about the sorry ass sample? I'm goddamn tired of samples. I heard it before. This is how we sounded in the early 60s right here. Let me see here. Let me see. That's early 60s. That's early 60s. This is late 60s. You hear the progress in a short amount of time? That's because people couldn't sample. You had to hear what you heard and grow. Make it bigger. Make it better. This is how disco started. This is how disco started. That's how disco started. This is how disco, I couldn't rely on your chord changes. I had to make my own fucking own. And then when you get to the 80s, the innovation flattens off. And do you know where it flattened off? I was on the phone with Larry earlier and I forgot to mention this yesterday in my music history course. Join the Patreon right now, Music University. New Jack Swing. Let's do this right. Let's do this. It was New Jack Swing.
New Jack Swing.
No, not that. Not that. I don't want no fucking video. I want an image. I'm trying to rip an image. Trying to rip an image off so I can put it up.